Sleep is one of those biological functions we tend to take for granted when it's good and obsess over when it's not. And as we age, sleep undergoes a slow but steady transformation, shifting from a deep, delicious nightly coma into something more fragile, lighter, and peppered with 3 a.m. bathroom visits and unsolicited ruminations about taxes, leg cramps, or whether that noise was the fridge or your mortality knocking. For many older adults, sleep starts to resemble a series of naps strung together by hope and memory. But while these changes are real, they're not necessarily destiny. Understanding how sleep evolves with age is the first step in making peace with it, and maybe even improving it. In youth, sleep is dominated by deep slow-wave sleep, SWS, and robust REM cycles that leave you feeling refreshed enough to leap out of bed, or at least contemplate it. In adolescence, sleep shifts later. Blame biology, not teenage rebellion, and sleep duration increases. But once adulthood kicks in, it's a slow march in the opposite direction. Starting around your 30s and 40s, the proportion of deep sleep begins to decline, and by the time you're over 65, your nights may be lighter, more fragmented, and less satisfying overall, even if total sleep time hasn't decreased as drastically as people think. One major change is in sleep architecture, the structure of sleep cycles. Older adults tend to spend less time in slow-wave sleep, which is the deepest, most physically restorative phase. This means that even if you're in bed for 8 hours, the quality of that sleep may be compromised. REM sleep, linked to dreaming and emotional processing, also gets shorter and more disrupted. What replaces these stages? Light sleep. Lots of it. Think of it as sleep's equivalent of diet soda, same label, less substance. Sleep latency, how long it takes to fall asleep, can also increase with age. And even when sleep does arrive, it's more likely to be interrupted. Whether due to nocturia, a lovely term for peeing at night, pain, medications, or underlying health conditions, the continuity of sleep gets hammered. Older adults often report waking up more frequently and struggling to fall back asleep. These awakenings can be brief, but they often break up the sleep cycle in ways that reduce overall restoration. It's like cooking a complex dish, but turning the oven off every 20 minutes. It may still get done, but the texture is going to be off. Circadian rhythms also shift with aging. The brain's internal clock starts to run a bit earlier, leading to what researchers politely call advanced sleep phase. Translation: you get sleepy at 8 p.m. and wake up at 4 a.m. without asking for it. This isn't a sign of decay. It's a natural recalibration of melatonin production and core body temperature rhythm. But in a world where social life and TV schedules run late, this early bird pattern can feel out of step, creating a kind of involuntary jet lag. The kicker? Despite getting lighter and less continuous sleep, many older adults need just as much rest as they did when younger. The myth that older people need less sleep is only partially true. While total sleep time may decline slightly, it's not because the need disappears, it's because the body becomes worse at delivering it. The machinery is still running. The software just glitches more often.
So, what can be done?
Plenty. First, older adults can benefit tremendously from reinforcing their circadian cues. That means getting bright natural light in the morning. Sunlight is like a slap in the face for your internal clock, limiting exposure to artificial light at night, and keeping consistent sleep and wake times, even on weekends or in retirement. That may sound rigid, but your brain loves routine. The more regular your schedule, the stronger your internal clock becomes. Physical activity also plays a major role. Regular exercise helps improve sleep onset, duration, and quality, but it needs to be timed well. Exercising too close to bedtime can be stimulating, so aim for earlier in the day. Additionally, addressing medical issues like sleep apnea, chronic pain, or restless leg syndrome can prevent sleep fragmentation. These conditions become more common with age, and no amount of herbal tea will fix a blocked airway or twitchy limbs. Finally, behavioral approaches like cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, are highly effective, even more so than sleep medications, which can carry significant risks for older adults, including falls, confusion, and drug interactions. CBTI focuses on changing unhelpful sleep habits and reducing the anxiety around sleep itself, which often becomes a secondary problem when people start dreading bedtime like a stressful meeting with their subconscious. Sleep may change with age, but it's not doomed. You might not sleep like you did at 22. Frankly, few things function the way they did at 22, but quality rest is still possible. It just takes a bit more strategy, a little more discipline, and an acknowledgement that your sleep, like your joints or your taste in music, evolves. And that's okay. Because with the right environment and habits, your nights can still be restorative enough to keep your days sharp, steady, and hopefully nap-free. Or at least limited to one dignified doze in the afternoon.